Tech News Weekly is sponsored by Hover.com. Go to gfu.hover.com and get 10% off your entire purchase. FreshBooks. FreshBooks is an easy-to-use online invoicing service that saves you time, gets you paid faster, and makes you look professional. Get started completely for free at freshbooks.com. And by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook by going to audiblepodcast.com/GFQ.
Starting Tech News Weekly in 3, 2, 1.
Holy moly, the gang is back. Welcome to Tech News Weekly. I'm Andrew Zarian, joined by Tom, the stretched out Rex.
Hello.
How you doing, Tom?
Stretched. I'm
very stretched.
And red.
Wow. Sunkast is here with us. How you doing, Sunkast?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. And Flash just crashed on me as I start the show, so it's a sign of things to come. I can no longer monitor
That's
the
a Mac,
show.
right?
No, on Windows. So in your face.
On Windows.
In your face, you Windows people. It's actually going to be, you know what? Tom is back after he's been traveling the world for 2 months.
I have.
What have you seen, Tom?
The peaks of Kilimanjaro. I hung out with Brad Pitt in Tibet.
That was excellent, right?
Great.
How are the red light districts?
Yes, I went to Amsterdam and tapped on windows.
Well, I heard they go on display on the windows, right?
They do. They dance and show their wares in the windows and
Tom's Euro trip.
It was actually, here's the truth. Tom was coming to New York, and we all know there's no airplanes where he lives.
Correct.
So you had to literally walk. It took you 2 months to get to New York, and you were able to get a flight out.
Yeah, I did not want to drive, so I walked.
So yes, you're back, and then you guys were here in New York. Before I want to go on, how was your trip, Tom? How was your trip this time to New York? Out of all the trips you've made the last couple of years, how was this trip?
It was the best because I didn't have to drive at all. I didn't have to touch a wheel for days, which was great. Andrew is a perfect New York City driver.
Am I?
Yeah, I'm used to it. I mean, and I drive fast in New York City, but you're better with the smaller car than I am with the get out of my way beast.
Yeah.
So and I do have to say the shuttle back, although we stopped 100 times on the way, that dude could haul butt in a van. Now what you did in your car is one thing, but this guy did the same thing in a big blue shuttle van. So hats off to that guy. He was crazy.
Yeah, well,
way.
you took the shuttle back. Yeah, you saw Dr. Oz. You took the shuttle back. So for the people who have missed it, Tom and Sunkast came up to New York for Blog World. The generous owner of the GFQ network flew you first class, put you in a 5-star hotel.
What? You flew Tom first class?
Tom came first class.
Yeah,
Oh, you didn't come first class?
Yeah, I sat next to the
What
pilot.
the crap?
I thought you got first class. Oh, clerical error. Sorry.
Yeah. Whoops.
Sorry.
Dude, that's not even cool.
Boy,
Tom
is
got
his
first
face
class.
That's
It's
not
all
fair,
over.
man.
Yeah. And he got a 5-star hotel.
Dang.
Yeah, and the pilot let me sit in his lap and
And gave him a lollipop.
he said, "Do you like movies about
Did
gladiators?"
you get your little wings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you saw my wings. That's not a joke. Now you saw my airline credentials that I picked up along the way.
Yeah.
My
So it was a lot of fun. I mean, I had a ton of fun. I was really glad everybody was here. The whole gang was here. Even Chauncey was here. Kieran and Rock were here. Coco was the only one that wasn't here.
Yeah, Coco, you don't need me to be there, do you?
Those were his exact words.
Yeah, he's like,
Exact
I don't
words.
really need to come, right?
But I was glad everybody made it. And it was a big week, really, really big week for the network. And we all should be really proud of what we've achieved in the last 2 years, because it is 2 years that the network has been created.
Dang.
And
That's a long time.
Yeah, we've accomplished a lot in 2 years, and we've stayed relevant, hopefully.
Yeah, it was a great setup for the blog media world. It's the first time in New York City, and it was a fantastic spot. You spent some good investment into having a good setup with the displays and everything, the banners and the marquees we had. They brought us extra chairs, which were nice, and Sunkast did an amazing job with the technical stuff.
Unbelievable producer, John. You did great.
Yeah, we came off like pros. We have footage.
You realize
Andrew.
that you don't know what to call me now? Now
Yeah.
that we've met in person, you have no idea what to call me
No,
now.
I really have no idea what to call you because I call you John, and then I call you Sunkast, and I call you John. So you could go by both.
I've got
I
the
can
video
go by
to
both.
prove
It's just
that
confusing when you
everybody's
switch
asking
back and forth between the two.
Yeah, so people get used to it.
Yeah. No, I have the video to prove it. So funny. The guys at Lunatic and Kunal and everybody leaning over, looking at Sunkast and calling them, one name. And they're like, oh, crap. Should I call you that? Or should I call you this? So for days, Sunkast is constantly, no, you can call me that. No, you can call him. Whatever you called him, he was okay with it. It was pretty cool.
Don't call him Bob, whatever you do.
Yeah. New.
Or Eddie.
You can call me whatever you want as long as you pay me money.
Exactly. Very good. Very good. See, he's learning. He's learning from New York.
Yeah.
So let's get into the big story, okay, guys? Windows 8.
Yeah.
So-
Windows 8.
I'm
D9.
gonna dive into this. Paul Thurrott will be joining us here on the GFQ Network on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock to do a thorough look at Windows 8. We could speculate all we want, but he is the expert and he's the
He's
professional at
the
this.
insider that we've got.
Yeah, he's the guy that knows everything about this. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna speculate what it is to us, and he's actually gonna tell us what it actually means because we all are gonna interpret this big change in a different way.
Well, let's preface this first by saying there's still a lot that we don't know about
Absolutely.
Windows 8. Yes,
Yeah.
there was the D9 summit that happened this week with Microsoft announcing and showing off some more recent builds of Windows 8, but there's still a lot of information that we don't know about Windows 8.
No, absolutely. There's still not much we know. This was a very quick preview that they gave us. And you know what?
Yeah,
I was glad. I was actually surprised that they did it at the level that they did because from what I was reading, it was only going to be about the ARM chipsets. And late, I believe it was Tuesday, right? Or Tuesday or Wednesday? One of those days. It was late breaking that they're going to start showing it off.
Yeah.
From what I thought Windows 8 would be, I assumed it would just be a tweaked 7. It wouldn't be a big change. It wouldn't be a big leap. Maybe some different file management, more cloud integration, more online apps. So it was going to be a small tweak because Windows 7 was such a large jump from Vista. I'm talking about stability-wise and an overall view of the company. Vista was, listen, I didn't have a problem with Vista. I don't hate Vista. I thought SP3 was great for Vista, and SP2 was great too.
Yeah, let me say this. The way I see Windows 7 to Windows 8 and Windows Vista was kind of a new jump between XP and Vista, and then you had Vista to 7, and 7 actually polished off Windows Vista.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So
yeah, they figured out what to strip away and what to leave, and I think it will end up being a good product. In fact,
Windows 7 or 8 you talking about?
7.
Okay.
7 ended up so far has been their best received OS in history.
Absolutely.
That's a
And
big
they just made some no, that was with Xbox. They just said 20 million units or some large scale of units sold. It's some console
yeah, and
record.
it's okay to mix those two because, as we'll get to here in a moment, these things are spinning in a vortex, but they're all gonna cling. They're all gonna come together.
So,
Xbox 7 and
they make this announcement. They talk about the ARM chipsets and how vital it's going to be to Windows and how easy it's going to be and how it's going to be more mobile. So they're doing all these things, and they're really prepping us for the tablet. They show us something I don't think anybody was expecting. The new Windows look is very similar to the Xbox, and it's very similar to the Windows Phone.
Windows Phone 7.
Windows Phone 7. I have a video.
Which-
Do you guys think I should play this video?
No,
Yeah,
I
why
want to roll
not?
back
I mean,
further.
it'll give our viewers an
Yeah.
idea of what it is that we're talking about.
Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah,
before
I think it's good for perspective. Before you roll that,
Yeah.
I have to do my wet blanket input. This I've seen a lot of crap on these blogs since this has started to unveil about copying iPad. And
Wait.
looking like
Oh, I
iOS.
thought you were going the other way. How it's the death of the mouse.
Well, yeah. The whole keyboard.
TechCrunch blatantly said it's the end of the mouse. I'm
Yeah,
looking at it
but
right
gonna
now.
say,
MG
and this
Sigler, by
can
the
go
way.
back to-
MG Sigler wrote, "Still think the mouse isn't dead."
Yeah, no, we could. And I want to go back to Ken. I'll go back to Ken 1 and Ken 2
Yeah.
just to prove this. What they're showing is not new. It's not a copy or knockoff. This has existed for years with the Zune interface. And I made sure I had my handy. But what you're going to see in this video that Andrew's going to roll, it's been around for a while with all the sliding tiles and everything. And of course, with Windows Phone 7, it's been ported into that form factor. So this isn't something they just thought up to copy the iPad this year. And I've got my Zune, which is, a couple of years old now, to prove that I got the original gen. So I have to preface this because I'm really missing this. We'll get Paul to chime in Tuesday. I'm missing this in all these reports I'm reading when they're bashing Microsoft for copying an iPad interface. This Zune was doing
How the crap is in an iPad interface?
There is nothing iPad-ish about this. I'm sorry for the people who are saying that, and I am.
The only similarity is that it's freaking touch.
Yeah, that's the only similarity. All right, so I have the video here. Let me
go ahead and play it.
Yeah, we have a new way we're doing the video switching where manually I have to switch.
We're gonna draw with crayon.
No, because I bought a new way of switching, so I could have multiple videos, but I don't have the remote for the other video, so Sunkast is off camera until I play this. But here is the preview. It's a long preview. I'm going to skip ahead, and I'm going to play around just so people get the idea of what this is.
Yep.
Because it's mind-blowing compared to what we are used to with Windows.
Sure.
Team. This is the first video in a series of videos we're going to be posting on our blog in the coming months.
So you could see it up on the screen for people who are watching it. That's Windows. That is not
view of my Zune.
That is not a media center. That is not a skin of sorts. That is not a preview. That is what Windows will look like.
Our design room, which is one of the rooms where we have a lot of interesting discussions about the UI. If you look over here, you can see some of the stuff we have posted up on the wall to inspire us. Sometimes we put designs we're working on the wall.
I'm just going to skip ahead to the spot here. There we go.
Have a little more space for the app to show its personality. Like the weather app can just show you the temperature without.
So that's your start menu. That's how it starts.
We introduced a new platform based.
Yeah,
on
some people might not
standard
realize it, but that's actually the start menu.
Yeah.
You don't have the thing that flies up anymore that tells you your programs. It's just
well, you do. You have the
what
option.
You see with Windows Phone 7.
Yeah, we're going to go into that, but you can do that. You can go into that. Here we go.
To create a new kind of app for Windows 8. These apps are full screen. They're beautiful. They are designed for touch. But of course, they work great with mouse and keyboard as well, if that's what you have. We wanted to make it really fast and fluid to get between your running apps. You just take your thumb or your finger from the side and just swipe it in. As I do that, I
mean, that is seamless, though.
List of running applications.
So he's able to swipe it through.
One of the great things about a PC is that you can do two things at once. We created a feature called Snap. I swipe in my thumb from the side of the screen, but now instead of moving it all the way into the center, I'm going to pause for a second. You can snap it into place over here next to your main app.
Now snapping started in 7.
It started in 7, yeah.
Which app is big and which one is small. So with just one simple gesture, you can snap one app next to another app. Now, a huge part of what you do on a PC today is web browsing. Internet Explorer 10 has a touch-first UI for panning the page very fluidly with the finger, for switching tabs. Here you can see the touch keyboard. One of the things that we realized
that's
when we were using
the touch screen.
Was that typing requires you to reach all the way into the middle.
So he's in Excel there.
Because it's a PC.
So that pretty much
Apple haters say, "Oh, he should have shown Excel or Word," and I'm like, "Did you not see that?" Because one of the Apple guys was complaining that they didn't show Excel or Word, but he clearly shows Excel running. So I don't know what the point was he was trying to prove with it.
So now let's talk about this because this is huge. For people who are panicking.
See, I can't. Yeah. I'm not excited about it as you are.
No, I'm not.
Really not.
I'm not excited in all the right reasons, and I'll tell you why. I'm excited because it is the evolutionary next step into what the modern OS is going to be. This is the OS of the next generation.
Microsoft has done this before. This isn't really new to me. The way it looks is new. but this isn't their first time trying to create an only touchscreen operating system.
Well, no, it's not. It's not necessarily an only touchscreen operating system. This is why this is huge. It's big because
for the most part it is.
No, the reason why this is huge is because this gives them a huge leap in the tablet world ahead of everybody else. And I'll tell you why. There are many times, I love my iPad, but there are many times that I'm using my iPad and I say, well, I kind of wish I could do this. Or if I'm using an Android tablet, I wish I could do this. You kind of want that OS interface. You do want to do certain things that you can in a regular desktop operating system. Now you can, because they're not going to have a specific OS for a tablet. This is it.
Okay, like what? Let me just back up. Can you think of, I don't mean to attack or put you on the spot, but like, what is there any real world example you can think
I
of?
sometimes miss the actual traditional OS in the sense of I could have multiple things on my screen. I kind of miss that sometimes. I mean, I don't look at my tablet as a full-blown PC. I look at it as an in-between my phone and my laptop. And
right, and you've always been reasonable about that.
Yeah,
you can more or less do that with the playbook. I think you can switch around easily and see multiple applications open at the same time with the playbook.
Yeah, with the playbook you can. But there are certain things that I feel more comfortable in Windows, and I still do, even from the Mac. Even though I'm a regular Mac user now, I still feel more comfortable in Windows with certain things. I think this is going to give them a huge leap as far as tablets go, and as far as the ARM chipset goes, because they're going to be able to put together $399, $499, $299 beautiful tablets that are running full versions of Windows on there.
Which has always been my thing when we talk about, what would it take to get you to get an iPad and all that. I don't want to go into that ecosystem. You've already tiptoed in there. You have a Mac. It's been great for you for years. But I'm hanging on to Windows. And I had a client this week who's thinking about getting a Mac. She was ready to go out and buy it until I reminded her. And I know this person. She has tons. She has Office. And she spent a lot of money to get a really nice version of Office, the one that comes with Excel. Access. And I reminded her, that won't work on the new Mac.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden she had to freeze and think about it for a second because she's going to have to go into a new ecosystem. So that's always been my contention. What will it take you to get an iPad? I don't have to,
because you're not invested in there. I mean, it's a cool little
Office. I literally have hundreds of disks. I have code that I can program. I can't do that as easily in Mac. I can do it. I just can't do it as easily. So, it would be a big deal for me.
So this interface, now we could turn this off. There's classic mode. So you could turn off Windows. You could turn off that look of...
I want to know how easy it is to turn that off. How easy is it to completely remove that?
You cannot... Yeah, it's a hotkey.
No. They show you switching to an application and it kicks in. But what if I want to completely disable it?
You're going to be able to disable it.
You're going to be Windows interface.
No, you could disable it. It's like how you could turn off arrows. From what I read.
How easy is it to access those settings, and how quickly can you completely get rid of all that stuff? For me personally, what I saw in that video was a tablet operating system.
Yeah.
That's what it was to me. It was not a PC operating system. It was a tablet operating system with PC options with it. And for me, I want a workstation. I really do. And for a workstation, I want a PC operating system, the traditional Windows operating system that you see now.
Well, this is their way of dropping legacy.
I don't really care about any of that touch crap. I really don't. I just want the plain old traditional operating system interface, and I don't want any of that touch stuff. I think it could slow down my computer.
No, see, this is the argument now. According to Microsoft, this will not put an impact of your OS. So of your performance. So if you're running Windows and this is running, it'll be the same as if you have it in classic mode. It's not going to strain the CPU. So it was just early. I don't know exactly if that's 100%. But here's the thing: they're giving you the option to turn it off. So that's the best part.
I like that option.
Yeah.
It's just
the other problem is,
and I always have.
First of all, I turn everything off.
I always switch to classic.
Yeah,
Windows,
me too.
And I'm just old like that. But yeah.
No. I get.
You got to do all these things just to get it set up to the point that you were at before they introduced this new operating system.
Well, that's a start right-click properties. It takes 2 seconds.
It's a 2-second thing. It's right-click properties and you turn it off.
Here's 2 more points that go against this. One is that I don't have a touch computer. I don't think most people do have a touch computer. So the whole touch features that come with the operating system are completely useless. And the second point is, what about companies that buy several copies of Windows 8?
Yeah. See, here's the problem.
How is it going to manage that and to screw things up?
This is going to be default, right? This is the default setting. There's no enterprise version, which I'll go to Tom right after. There's no enterprise version. It's just one version of Windows.
Not that we know of yet, but that's just it. To me, I don't know anybody that really has a touch device, a touch PC. We've seen Microsoft try to do touch PCs before, and it's never really worked out.
I don't think we're going to touch. I think we're going to the Connect
that's what they're doing.
Tom, what was that thought?
Okay, when these are deployed, OEMs are deployed to large, enterprise situations like any of my previous employers, like Rubbermaid, Homeland. You don't do that in the manner that you set it up on a workstation and then Fred Jones goes over there and tweaks it. What you do is you ghost the image. When you deploy a computer for the new employee or for the entire set, it's a ghosted image. So it's keystrokes done from usually command prompts. You ghost that computer to whatever the heck you want it to. And in Andrew's case, I'm always lecturing him when he does his backups and VidBlaster install. Go ahead and ghost that, and then you're done. But you ghost it. You do at Fannie Mae, we could do 2,000 computers identically just by a few command strokes, and so it's not really that big of a deal to tweak it. Okay, well, this user, we need to turn these properties on.
Well, that's if you have those tools available to you.
Well, yeah, but they're free. I mean, ghosting is built into Windows. You can download, if you don't like Windows, you can download free ghosting. But to do an image backup, look up slipstreaming. Just Bing or Google the word slipstream, create your own backup, and every computer you ever touch in your life, be home or enterprise, if you slipstream it, you can 1 or 1,000 set them all up identically in a few keystrokes.
See, here's a misconception on this OS. I don't feel that this is a touch screen OS. I think what they have done is incorporated everything into one super OS. So if you have a touchscreen device, it's integrated in the touchscreen device. If you don't have a touchscreen device, you could still use it, but you don't have to use it. I think it's mandatory with touchscreen, but it's not mandatory with anything else. The evolution of this OS, that's what we have to look at, the big picture. This is Microsoft's first ever giant leap into non-legacy type environments. They are not so. This isn't legacy. This isn't what we are used to, and I think many people are upset over it. Many people are happy over it. For me, I have no use for this, for what I do, for my business. I don't want this. I don't want it installed. First thing I'm gonna do is remove it. Now, for my laptop, you know what? I might leave it on.
Yeah,
I might leave it on for fun. Maybe Jessica will like it. First of all, Jessica saw this thing and said, "I will never use this thing."
Yeah,
I'm just waiting till it's live and we have it in our hands to see what our reaction is, because our opinion really doesn't matter, right? We're the enthusiasts. We'll tweet.
And that's kind of what I'm waiting for too. Is I know at this point that's definitely not the final product that we're getting. So I'm hoping we're going to see this evolved and be more useful by the time it's ready, because it's not even coming out till 2012.
Yeah.
Probably not till the end of 2012.
So
there's
probably
a lot of time for things to change here. But from what I've seen so far, I'm not interested in it one bit.
I guess, you know what's going to be interesting? I'm really still curious, and we'll find out from Paul on Tuesday. This is why I want Paul on, because there's a lot of questions out there, and there's a lot of I'm sure we're all misunderstood about this, right? I'm sure we don't know the exact story, but
that's what I'm saying.
If this thing is going to take away CPU resources from me, and I need every percentage that I could get, I would not be happy with this. The other thing is, did you see the new specs for screen resolution?
No. What were the new specs?
They are supporting only a certain type of screen resolution with Windows 8.
Are we sure that's just not what they initially are saying for right now. Maybe they'll add support for other resolutions down the road.
No, I think this is the standard. I think this is the, where is it? Let me just find it because I'm looking at the technical menu for it. I can't find it, but they have a specific screen resolution, and this is the first time I've seen Microsoft try to control the hardware, and I think it's a great thing that they're doing. I think this is a great thing because you need certain features to have the best environment, best features. You don't think so?
Under
I think
the hood, what this thing is, I'm looking at a screenshot of it's a different demo. It's the demo that I've watched. The other. What this is, to boil it down more basically, you're getting Windows, but you're not getting the Windows bar. So imagine being an Explorer or Word or anything, and you've got all that gray boxing. They're stripping all that away, which they're saying is going to make it a faster experience. You know what? It's kind of like,
it's like with these new Android devices that are coming out, and how HTC has HTC Sense on top of Android.
Yeah, that's
change things around. Or Motorola has Moto Blur.
I think that's what it is.
Similar to that, where it's Android underneath, and while Android is in a sense mostly touch, you kind of have Windows 7 underneath, but it's all disguised by this touch interface that, quite frankly, if you're not on a touch interface, it's completely useless.
Yeah, I don't. Tom, would you use this on a non-touch device? Do you feel
I see no purpose.
No
for
purpose.
And at the top of the show, you were talking about mouseless, and we haven't brought that up. But one of the features, or whatever you want to call it, downsides, upsides, depending on your point of view, is that you can navigate all over this thing. You don't have to touch it and put fingerprints all over everything, but without a mouse. So it's keyboard shortcuts. A lot of us old command line guys like that. So hitting the Windows key, if everybody watching, the 95% of the world that uses Windows, if you look in your lower left, you have a Windows key on your keyboard. So using that Windows key and another key will, enable you to blaze through these tiles. So they're saying, that would be the death of the mouth, whatever you saw in Gadget, some nonsense. So, they're saying that without, you can navigate around here without a mouse. But no, for me, no, I'm not going to be tempted to use this thing in a PC or a laptop or anything at all. It's not going to entice me. I've been using it on the Zune for 2 years. I'm watching all this swiping and gesturing, and it's just incredulous to me that this is new, because you can go to any YouTube video and watch people navigating a Zune. I'm like,
well, haven't they done this? Hasn't Microsoft? I'm going to talk about this. Microsoft has been talking about having almost like you said, the Sense or whatever it is over Windows for a while. That's what pretty much CE, they were developing on CE for a while like that, where it would have different environments. I know Microsoft is trying to be different, and let's pick the other side, because we've spoken about the good, we've spoken about the bad. How about the really bad? What if this is an ME? What if this is another Windows ME? This is a big leap they're taking.
It's very possible, because
it is.
It's still in the point where we don't know if this is going to be a hit or not until it actually.
I hope it is a
final.
hit. I hope it is a hit. I hope it's great. I hope Windows 8 is even better than what 7 was. But this is a huge. You know what? Say what you want about Microsoft, and everybody says Microsoft is kind of like an IBM type company, right? They fell behind for a little bit, but this is a huge, huge risk Microsoft is taking. They're taking a huge, bold leap into what Windows will be, and I'm telling you, we are not the customers they're looking for. I think what Microsoft's future is with the next OS and the next OS, they are going to this Minority Report type feature where touchscreen is useless. It's pointless on any kind of computer, not a tablet. I think we're going to start swiping things, and that's what the Kinect was.
I think it's perfectly acceptable on a tablet, on a PC, a non-touch PC device. I seriously don't see a point to this new operating system. It's not going to be anything worthwhile to upgrade to if you don't have a touch device to take note of all these new features that they built on top of Windows 7.
No, but the OS is going to be a lot better. It's going to be more refined. It's going to be smoother, as every OS goes up. I think it's going to be the next leap is Windows 8, right? And the next leap is always a little bit better than the previous one. So I think
you can see in the demos, which are always better than life. So I take that into consideration. But the demo moves faster than any operating
it's
system
very
I've seen
fast.
so far.
Yeah, it's very fast from what I've seen.
And by the time this comes out, they're saying this is only going to work. You'll have to be at Internet Explorer 10. And right now we're just rolling out 9 this year, but this is going to be rolled out with Windows Explorer 10. So it's going to be this whole integration, which goes back to my earlier comment with Andrew mentioned the Xbox, is that they're all merging together in this perfect storm of integration. And so they're really, I think for the first time, planning better. I'm not saying perfectly, but better for the future than they have in the past. And they're probably copying a lot of Apple's steps to do this, because Apple has done this and that, and then they created the iOS and started tying things together, and Microsoft is following along with that. They need to tie it all together. You can't have a million different ways to access a television program. It can't be different on the Xbox, different on the media center on your PC, different in a web browser. You can't have all that, or you're just going to lose people. It's got to be similar in touch and feel. So
yeah, I want to take a little break, guys, and I want to talk about our sponsor, Hover.com. Domain names made simple. We've said a lot of stuff. Windows 8. There are a lot of websites out there where you could start a blog on Windows 8 and what it's going to be. You could buy the domains at Hover. You go to gfq.hover.com. You get 10% off your entire purchase at Hover, which is amazing that they're doing this. I absolutely love this service, and I'll tell you why. They just changed their portal, their user controls, and they've said, a couple times, they said there were things that we could have done differently, and this thing looks amazing, their new portal. Really easy to use, really easy to navigate. Everything is laid out there in front of you. There's not 1,000 screens to go around and jump around like some other people. I have some domains on the other guys. We actually have our email with those other guys that we want to bring over to Hover, but it is a pain to find the email portal because it's so cluttered and it's so all over the place. And you don't have that with Hover. It's amazing, amazing, amazing stuff. They have a great promotion on .me websites right now. It's $10 for a .me. They have great deals all the time, and they're getting the 10% off. You could also transfer your domains if you're not happy over there to Hover. The concierge fee is waived. It's totally free to do it. You could do as many times as you want. Only thing you got to pay for is that 1-year service, which is $10. It's absolutely nothing. Go to gfq.hover.com. Get started. Domain names made simple. I love these guys. They sent this to Blog World. I really appreciate everything they're doing, and I'm glad they're around here on the GFQ network. So on Monday, now let's go to the other side of this, is the big WWDC, which we're going to be doing coverage. It's going to be a lot of tech next week. And then following week,
it's going to be a lot of Apple stuff.
Yeah. So WWDC, and I believe Gary from MacMost is going to be coming on to talk about some of the stuff there. Are we done with Microsoft, you guys? Are we done with it?
Sure. Yeah, I was gonna suggest we don't continue on that because we're speculating more than if Paul's coming.
And Paul will have a lot more.
Yep.
Okay, so WWDC June 6th, which is Monday. It's always a big hoopla, right? It's a big conference. Everybody's excited. This year, the rumors are they're unveiling iOS 5, iCloud.
It's going to be packed.
Yeah, it's going to be big. I mean, these are big things. iCloud, iOS 5, and Lion. They're going to be doing more stuff about Lion.
And Steve will be there.
Steve is going to be there.
Biggest news to me. Yeah.
Jesus himself.
Yes, he will be walking on the waters.
Now, iCloud is an interesting thing because I have Google Music, and I got accepted in the beta for Google Music.
Yeah, how long have you had Google Music now?
For about a week.
Okay, so you've used it for a while now that you can make a good opinion about it.
Yeah, and I was going to put it on my phone yesterday, but everything just died here in the studio, so I couldn't do it, and my phone broke, so I finally got it on there today, and I'm going to show you guys a little example of it. And this, well, you know what? This might be my pick this week, so I might save it for the pick. So forget it. Never mind. Plan failed. But with Google Music, all my stuff, it updated to the cloud. I have about 20,000 songs. So it updated to the cloud overnight. I mean, it took me about 2 days to update everything to the cloud, to their server. All my songs are on there. And now everything is on my phone, on the cloud. And it's pretty good. I mean, it's a beta. It's still very early. And the thing is seamless. It's a great service. I'm actually quite surprised. I didn't think I would need anything like this. But this is great. So I like it. This is their answer, right?
Now,
this is
let me ask you, because you're a Mac guy.
Yeah.
Are you going to try using iCloud?
No, I won't, because not every one of my songs are bought through the iTunes Music Store, and I think it's only going to be available to songs you purchase in iTunes.
See, that's one of the questions I have is there's not a whole lot of details, in my opinion, as far as how the iCloud is going to work.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm waiting on to make a real opinion on it. I think it's great that they have all 4 major record labels on board. I think that's a big deal. But at the same time, there's still the question of exactly how this is going to work, if it's going to mirror your entire iTunes library, or can you put in whatever you want and it's going to upload it, or is it just going to be all in the cloud and whatever Apple has, that's what you get.
Well, Apple struck the deal with the music label, so I think it's going to be only open to what is purchased in your iTunes Music Store. I don't think they're going to leave it open unless they do music streaming and all that stuff. But as far as what Google has done, I'm actually it's actually quite useful, because I have my entire music library now stored on the cloud. I never have to worry about if it's lost, and I have everything on my phone. I have it on every mobile device I have. I think I have a couple invites, so I'll give you guys the invites to try it out. But for me, the most important thing is I want to see what iOS 5 is going to be, and I'm quite I'm interested in Lion, because as a Mac user, I have to go there. Do you think they're going to have this big bang with what they're announcing, guys? Do you feel that they're going to be able to, especially, let's go with Lion first. Do you think Lion is going to be a huge jump from Snow Leopard? Because Snow Leopard was only like a security tweak. That's all it was.
Yeah, it was a failed one, in my opinion.
Yeah, Snow Leopard, I'll tell you something. I felt Leopard was a better OS. When I went to Snow Leopard, a lot of issues started up on my Mac. The Mac experience kind of went down for me with Snow Leopard.
Yeah, I don't want to derail this into my usual rants about security, but as we speak, the Apple's been subjected to a recent nasty malware onslaught, which they fixed after almost a month, and then within hours of the fix, it went back into being corrupted. And
yeah, but you can say the same thing for Android and Windows.
Well, yeah,
so I don't think that's really fair.
No. But I think the point is that Apple has this.
Sick of
Apple has this idea that it's untouchable, right? That's the thing.
Exactly.
By the way,
Tom, I referred to earlier.
I'm a smart computer user, right? For the most part, I went to a link, and it was a tech blog. I clicked on a link on that tech blog, and guess what? It popped up. Windows, it said, Mac Defender has found malware.
Oh, God.
Please click to proceed.
Yep. And they're not used to that. They don't see that like Windows users do it. And Android don't even count, because that's not a PC operating system. But I had a client call me, and it's the one I referred to earlier in the program. She is considering getting the Mac because she has been told that they'd never get viruses. So not only do they get them, but they're really getting attacked now because they're getting market share and traction, which is why Windows has them. So when they finally fixed this thing, it was cracked within hours of the fix. And their fix to the fix is only applicable if you have Snow Leopard. So if you have Leopard and older, and I have Tiger on a machine, you're still screwed. They're not going to fix it. They have no intention. It's not fixing. They're not going to fix it. Now imagine Windows saying, oh yeah, we know about that malware. You run XP, too bad. Get Windows 7 and you're protected. The screaming would be around the world, but Apple can do it. Apple can say, get Snow Leopard and you're protected, and everybody says, oh God, thank you. But I'm stunned. I'm stunned at what people accept for their operating systems.
I
don't think Snow Leopard's been that great of a change.
There's some small announcement. They've announced a lot of it, but nothing. There's still a few things that have not been announced, which I don't want to go into all the details now because we're going to do it over the WWDC announcement. But there's some small little things that I would say, that's pretty interesting, and I would like that, but nothing to blow me away.
Yeah. And probably Windows 7 was similar, though.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's kind of how I see it too. It's more or less a bump from like Windows Vista to Windows 7. You got new features, yes, but it wasn't anything revolutionary, kind of like what we're seeing from Windows 7 to Windows 8, where it's got this new huge touch interface on top of Windows 7.
Yeah, but you know
It's
what?
not
You know
anything
what,
like that.
Sunkast? I'll tell you something. That's not good when you're a company like Apple, because Apple has kind of prided itself as being this huge thing. What's next, right? We've had Leopard was a big jump over Tiger. Leopard was a great OS. Then we had Snow Leopard, and we kind of accepted it because they came out and said, well, this isn't that big OS that everybody thinks. This is just tweaks and fixes to make Snow Leopard, to make Leopard and make the Mac OS even better. Now we're at Lion, and we still haven't had that big bump, right? We haven't had that huge jump into the next OS. So it's
But where
interesting.
do you go to from
Where
here?
do you go? Well, the theory is that the next OS is going to be kind of what Microsoft is trying to do. What
See,
Microsoft
and
is
I
doing.
apply Microsoft in that
Yeah.
sense because I know how extremely difficult it is to reinvent something that already works so well for so many people.
Yeah.
Well, what do you do with an operating system?
Well,
these days?
Apple had it easy. OS 9 was not working for anybody.
Yeah, there you go. Everybody.
So
hated
when they
it,
went
so
to OS
anything was
10,
good.
it was, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. That's why it was so successful.
I think we need to get over the mindset that any evolution and updating of any operating system is going to be just monumentally mind-blowing. They're all incremental, you know.
But
They're
who
gonna be
started
small
that? You know,
changes.
Apple started that, right? Apple
I
really
don't know.
started that giant leap. I think what happened was when you know, OS X came out, we said, wow, I didn't know this could be done. Because OS X was, I mean, revolutionary for its time. It was totally different than what everybody else was doing. And they really shocked people because they put a decent OS out. OS 8 and OS 9 were horrible.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a tech world in the sense that with our hardware, we tend to see those leaps and bounds as far as hardware and technology goes, like CPUs, for instance, in the size and the speed dramatically increasing every couple of years.
What is
But we're
it,
not
every
really
18
seeing that
months?
as far as software.
What is it, Tom? What's the number?
Of which?
Every how many months do the speeds double?
Oh God, I don't remember.
18
Isn't it
months?
like 18 months?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is interesting, and we're gonna next week is gonna be a really big week here for us because we're gonna be doing a lot of tech stuff, and it is a big week for technology. You know,
I have a lot of sympathy for any of the operating system people. Apple less so because Apple controls. You have Apple hardware and software, and they are the same entity. That's controlled. Whereas Windows and upcoming Google and with their OS and so forth, they're at the whim. They can be busting their butt night and day to create the most amazing OS, but they're at the mercy of what the hardware is being developed that they can't keep up with.
Well, I think, see, this is the thing. I think what Microsoft is going to end up doing is kind of putting caps on what the hardware could do. Because you hear so many complaints. There's so many people out there, and this was, and I heard it all the time. People came up to me, and when Windows 7 came out, they go, Windows 7 sucks. It runs like crap. And then you would ask them what they're running, and they were running a P3.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Or like they're running a P4, and they'd say, oh, well, it sucks. Well, why? Oh, it's laggy, it's slow, it's buggy, it doesn't work right, it crashes. And then you find out the hardware that they're running, it's 10-year-old hardware.
Yeah, well, I have 512 meg of RAM, so.
And then and then the argument is when you tell them, well, and then when you bring that fact up, they go, well, anything will run good on on fast brand new hardware. Well, that's it doesn't work like that. You have to put it what it's comparable to, whatever the time is. If we're in 2010, you better have hardware from 2010 to do an accurate benchmark.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
That was the point, and there were so many people that complained about that, and they were saying, well, Vista's better. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, and guess what? A 1975 Pinto isn't going to run as good as a Porsche. So
and we've always had that argument, and we've always heard it, and one of the biggest complaints is, well, I can't run it on my P4, or I can't run it on my P3. I have 512 RAM. I can't run it. It runs like crap.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's this has been the problem with the evolution of Windows is because there's so much back support.
No, it's user error.
User error, yeah.
Yeah.
You're holding it
User
wrong.
error. These users don't know that their hardware is out of date and they need new hardware.
You're holding it wrong.
Problem exists between keyboard and chair.
All right, let's do our picks of the week, guys. What do you think?
All right.
Who's going first?
I'll start it because I just actually pulled up.
Go first.
This is one I've actually had for a while in the queue of things to recommend. And what made me want to do it over another? Actually, there's a really cool new browser I found, but I'm going to pick this one this week. It's called Prey, as in bird of prey, Prey. Can be found at preyproject.com. Now, as we're getting more and more mobile, why I picked this week because of our topics with the laptops and whatnot, being theft is a big issue. So what Prey is, there's a lot of things you can buy, essentially LoJack for your computer, your laptop, and whatever. And some of them are pretty pricey. Some people are getting quite rich off this from scaring people. And I heard a radio ad 2 days ago for, protect your Apple, buy this product. What Prey Project and the Prey software does, it puts it on there. It's open source, so it costs nothing. And you can put it on Windows, I believe Mac and Linux. I'm looking at the list here now because now it's on Android. Since I first discovered this thing, so everything you can think of, including Android. So it runs on everything you can possibly think of that's mobile. And if it gets stolen, then you can recover it. On all my tech journals, my security magazines, CRN magazines, so forth, they love it. And one of the clips from it, one of the reviews, says lightweight, totally free open source program to help you locate your lost computer or Android phone. It runs really silently in the background, so it's nothing that you'll notice running, slowing down your computer. But once it's all set up on your laptop or whatever mobile device, if it gets stolen, if you set it up properly, you can easily recover it, and the authorities can go hunt them down and return it. And there's a lot of these out there that do this, offer this, and a lot of them are free. But Prey is one of the only ones that I've seen that's been kind of endorsed by a lot of security people that I kind of trust. So again, it's Prey Project. And the product itself is, they just call it Prey, P-R-E-Y, but preyproject.com.
Excellent, Tom. That's a good pick. Really, really good pick. I will go next because I always go last. Unless you want to go. Sunkast.
No, you can go.
So I was going to do Google Music, but I realized that a lot of people have not gotten an invite for it, so it's kind of a very small group of people. Instead, I found this app for my Android. It's called Grove IP, voice without minutes. So what it does, it's an application you install, and it works off of Google Voice. So if I put up the camera here, you'll see the actual keyboard, right? It looks like it's the dialer, but it dials with Google Voice, and you could get calls to Google Voice on this. So you have a voice over IP on a cell phone.
Cool.
Without using any minutes. So I could call anybody anywhere, and it'll work off of the Wi-Fi and not off of my minutes. And I used it this week. I have a problem in my house where I have no cell phone service. So I've been using this.
It's not just you, it's everybody.
It's everybody. Yeah, no,
it's everybody in your house.
Sunkast
I had no phone
me.
signal when I was there.
It's horrible here. But I've been using this. It works off of 3G or Wi-Fi. I've been using Wi-Fi because I don't need to use 3G. If I have self-service, I'll use my cell, and it works great. I'm actually quite surprised by how well it works. It's a couple bucks. I think it was like $2.99 or $1.99. I forgot the exact amount, but it's well worth it if you don't want to use your minutes and you do want to use your cell phone and you want to make phone calls with Google Voice. I have not seen any of them integrate Google Voice in them. There are a couple services, but none of them do Google Voice. This is a great, great application. It's called Grove IP, Groove, Grove, right?
Or Grove or Groove?
I don't know. I heard both. What would you say, Groove or Grove?
Depends. One O is Grove, two O's is Groove.
Is it?
Yeah.
I heard somebody say Groove, and I Grove, so I'm going based on that. So it's maybe Groove, so whatever it is. Groove or Grove, however you want to pronounce it. But it's a great application. I absolutely love it. Groove or Grove IP. I don't know. I heard it said 3 different ways from tech journalists. So if I want to go based on them, I have no idea.
That's the danger of having a really cool, cheeky name.
Yeah.
It looks like it is Groove IP according to the Android market.
Okay.
Groove. O-O.
Okay. Sunkast, your pick.
My pick this week is a nice tool for removing malware and antiviruses let's face it, we all have this problem where you can easily get a virus these days,
Porn.
especially if you're a Windows user.
Especially if you're going to porn sites.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're going to porn sites. That's a really bad thing to be doing to begin with. And sometimes these viruses can completely disable our operating system to the point where we can't either run a antivirus program or the computer doesn't even start to begin with. But Microsoft now has a new tool called the Microsoft Standalone System Sweeper tool. And basically, it's a program that you start on your computer, a computer that is not infected, by the way, and it'll download basically a copy of the home security thing that Microsoft has, Security Essentials.
Yeah.
Microsoft Essentials, put it on the machine.
It basically downloads a version of that. It'll grab the latest antivirus definitions, and then you can burn that to either a CD, DVD, USB drive, or you can even create an ISO that you can burn later. And then you can use that to boot your computer and then scan for viruses and malware offline to be able to restore and recover your computer. It's really cool. It's a free tool. It comes with both a 32-bit version and a 64-bit version. So depending on what kind of computer it is, if you're running a 32-bit version of Windows, you need to install and run the 32-bit version of Windows. Or on the other hand, if you're running 64-bit Windows, you need to install and run the 64-bit version of this tool in order to use it. So you got to match those things up, but it's a free tool, and it's great if you have issues starting your computer from a virus, or you need to use something that you know is up to date and works.
That's excellent, actually.
Let me see if what the website is.
Can you boot
for
straight off
for
of it into safe mode, or?
This is just a standalone thing. It just boots right off the CD or USB drive. It boots right into it and starts the antivirus program. It's a lot like Security Essentials. It looks exactly the same. It's really cool. You just go to connect.microsoft.com/system sweeper. That's the website for this. You can download either the 32-bit version or the 64-bit version. They explain the differences right there on the website.
Excellent.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was great.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining me today on Tech News Weekly. You could catch all our shows archived on our website at gfqnetwork.com. You could also watch us live on Stickam, Justin TV, Ustream, Livestream, the Stitcher app, and, of course, our audio feed that's on our website at gfqlive.tv. Remember to subscribe to all our shows that are posted on gfqnetwork.com. Next week, busy day, full schedule. Monday, we are doing WWDC. Tuesday, Paul Thurrott, and then I believe Monday also Gary from MacMost will be coming on, and then the following week is E3, so we're going to have some E3 coverage as well. So busy couple of weeks here at the network. You could write an email to us at guysfromqueens@gmail.com. Also follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/GFQNetwork. Also Facebook, facebook.com/guysfromqueens, and we will see you all next week. Good night, everybody.